Okay, today we're going to make a lovely local shellfish broth. I have, for this recipe, which will serve 2 people quite easily, 500 milliliters of our frozen shellfish stock here. I've got some clams, just 6 clams, local clams, 6 local mussels, some prawns from Fishes or Greendale Farm Shop, and a little bit of hake loin that has been diced. Kept it quite chunky so it doesn't break down in the soup too easily. I have 30 grams of unsalted local butter, a teaspoon of tomato puree, 4 cloves of garlic ground down into a nice little paste with some salt, some finely diced onion, that's about 120 grams there, a Maris Piper potato peeled, diced up, and again about 120 grams in weight, 100 ml of white wine, 200 grams of some lovely chopped tin tomatoes, and just to add to the dish, a little bit of smoked paprika and some cayenne pepper. There is also some finely sliced fennel, and I've got the fennel top just to garnish the shellfish broth at the end. So just a few quality points when working with shellfish and prawns and some local fish. For my clams and mussels, I'm looking to check that none of these have holes in or are cracked and chipped. If they did, I would throw them away. If any don't open after I've cooked them, then again, I won't try and prise them open, they will go in the bin. They should, keep in the fridge for 24 hours. Just put them under a damp tea towel or cloth in the fridge and they will stay quite happy. The prawn, well, I've peeled the tail. So I've just taken that sort of armour plating off. And now what I'm going to do is just show you how to remove the entrail. So to remove the entrail, just take the back of the prawn here with a knife, cut down the back. And if I open this up, you can just see inside the start of a little entrail hanging down there like that. Just peel that away. It just gives a nice little finish to the broth. I've taken my 500 ml of shellfish stock, put it into a pan, and I've just warmed it very gently on about number 4 on the stove, just until it's completely dissolved like this. It's now ready to use. My butter's gone into the pan, it's just started to melt, and as you can see now the butter's just starting to foam. It's on quite a high heat, so I'm just going to turn this down now to about number 6, and into this pan goes my finely diced onion. Just a little bit of salt going in, and stir the onion into the salt and the butter, and just allow this now to cook for a good 3 to 4 minutes until the onion is nice and soft. So the onions now have been sweating down for the sort of last 3 or 4 minutes. They're nice and soft, nice and translucent, there's no colour to them, and now into this goes the garlic puree. A little stir to get the garlic in. And then my fennel, just to start to soften that up. Now, you could, if you wanted to, use celery or carrot in here as well as a little base for your broth. The ingredients are really there to kind of just give you an idea and that little bit of confidence to have a go at utilising what is a fantastic shellfish broth and some fantastic local fish and shellfish too. So the garlic is sweating down gently with the onion, the fennel softening nicely. I'm just again going to leave this for a minute just to soften up. So now the fennel's softening beautifully, the garlic's nice and soft, it's lost that acidity, absolutely beautiful. In with my spices, both my cayenne and the smoked paprika, the tomato puree going in. I'm just going to stir this into that lovely butter just to release those lovely flavours. So I've cooked those spices and the tomato puree for about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. Again, it just helps release those lovely flavours and takes that bitterness away from that lovely strong tomato puree. Into this now goes my 100 ml of white wine. Now, in all honesty, that could be cider, could be a splash of brandy if you so desire, or a little bit of vermouth. Allow that now to reduce by at least half in volume. So the wine's reduced, in goes my diced potato, in goes my chopped tinned tomatoes. Just give those a little stir to bring it all together. And then into this, I'm going to add my stock. I've added my shellfish stock now, and I want to cook this out and just until those potatoes just start to fracture a little bit on the side, and then I know they're cooked, and then I'm going to finish the dish. So this has been cooking now 5 or 6 minutes, and these diced potatoes here, they just start to break down when you give them a little squeeze. So that is just perfect now. All we need to do is add our shellfish and fish. So into the pan, a couple of prawns. Just give them 30-second to a minute head start just to get them cooking. We're going to follow that in with the clams and the mussels. Now in go the clams. Just get them under the surface there, and we'll follow them in with the mussels. Just waiting now to see these little fellas open up. So this has now been simmering on about number 6 for about 3 minutes. You can see the clams have opened beautifully, the mussels have popped themselves open. So now into this, just going to drop the hake. This could be ling. If you wanted to, you could put some bream into this, you could put some red mullet into this. You know, a bit of bass would be good as well. You know, just think about trying to use some of the cheaper fish. Talk to your fishmonger about it, about what they would recommend. Another minute's cooking and we'll be done and ready to serve. Just before serving, let's just have a little taste and just check for seasoning. For me, that tastes absolutely delicious. Just a little tickle of salt and a little crack of black pepper going in. Give that a little shake and I'm now ready to serve. Okay, let's just get a nice little mix of everything into the bowl. Look at that lovely fish. You know, give yourself 3 mussels each, 3 clams, a little bit of the potato going in, and now some of that lovely liquid just to sit on top. So to finish the broth, just a lovely bit of Vicky's toasted sourdough. So buy a lovely loaf, toast it off, rub it with a little bit of garlic. That will just absorb all the lovely juices. And here we have a beautiful shellfish broth using our 500 ml of our shellfish stock and as locally sourced ingredients as possible. Just sit back, glass of wine and enjoy.